Sup, everyone? It's Joey D and Timmy B back at it again for the next episode of our Flea Flicker. A little bit of a quick one today as we have a couple of announcements now that the NFL offseason is kind of getting back into the gear with the draft, the schedule being released, a mock draft challenge that we're doing, as well as kind of the plans for the rest of our offseason. But Joey D, my friend, we are back from your bachelor party, which was in Colorado. But
Oh
how have
yeah,
you been since we saw you, or I saw you in person? So how's it been going, my friend?
dude, it's been good. I mean, it's been kind of surreal coming back to the real world
Yeah,
from just a rowdy weekend in Colorado and just a fantastic time. I had never been out to the out that far west before, and it's just a completely different world out there. I'm just so happy I had the experience, and now it's a little bit deflating. Come back to South Carolina and see the same scenery over and over, but we got this wedding coming in hot, so a lot of stuff to look forward to. And the draft next week, so a couple things in the short term as well to look forward to before this wedding gets here. So I'm all about it. I love the draft. I love the off season.
yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, that trip was great. And then, like any good trip like that, coming back the next couple of days, you're just like, man, I wish I want to go back, like and all that kind of stuff. Before we hop into the draft and the couple of announcements that we do have for our mock draft challenge, where you can win some money. Yeah, oh yeah, now you're listening. Before you can do
Oh,
that, before we get to that real quick, the NFL today announced that the schedule release show. The schedule will be out on May 12th, just in a couple of weeks. So definitely excited for that. We will be recording some sort of live reaction or episode regarding the schedule. Now, Joe, give us a little bit of a teaser. Are the Eagles playing the football team in week one?
I would guess so. Based on how the last couple schedules have gone. I mean, we'll see if this extra game impacts that at all. But I mean, the last couple years, it's been weird. They start off Eagles versus Washington. They kind of end the season with Eagles versus Washington, and then we'll have Dallas, someone else, and then Dallas, or the Giants, someone else, and the Giants. Like it's like they put all those games like really close together in the middle of the season, and for some reason love pairing the Eagles up against Washington at the beginning and the end. So just hopefully not in prime time in week 17, and the Eagles tank again. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the Ravens. It's so tough to say because we don't have that NFC East. We don't always have the Giants and the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. If they schedule that again, my goodness, for Week One, we don't have that. So I'm just gonna say, we're gonna start off strong. We're gonna see if Joe Burrow is ready to go in Week One with his knee. I'm sure he is. He's a very young kid. So I'm gonna go with we're playing the Bengals in Week One, which would be, it's going to be a nice little test. I think the Bengals could definitely surprise some people, and we'll talk about that. So I'm going with that. But yeah, you nailed it, Joe. It's going to be interesting to see now with the 17th game how that kind of changes. I mean, it's just one game, but still that affects primetime schedules and traveling. Like with the Ravens, we played the Chargers and the Rams at home. I don't know if they have any other East Coast trips, but are they pairing those together? If a team is going on the East Coast to the West Coast, are they going to do those back-to-back weeks? So it's going to
All
be
right.
interesting. We will be having some sort of episode.
I actually have a question. Do you know, like, since I guess what they did, they reduced the preseason by one game to add this extra game. So does that mean the season is actually going to start? The regular season is going to start 1 week earlier than it normally would.
I actually have no idea, but that's a good point
Okay.
because that
Okay.
would be Labor Day weekend, which generally is the college football kickoff. So everybody's watching college football, and college football does have some primetime and marquee matchups on not only that Sunday afternoon and evening, but on Labor Day Monday, there's normally a decent college football game or two. So
Right.
that's a good point, and I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise they're extending the end of the regular season by a week, and then and then the playoffs as well.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's either everything's staying the same, or everything's getting pushed back a week essentially. So I'll be interested to see what that impact kind of has there. That was something I hadn't really thought about until just now.
yeah, no, absolutely. And even if they push it back, maybe everybody gets 10 days or 2 weeks to prepare for week one because, like I just said, Joe, these college football games are built years in advance. So if that happens,
Right.
you can guarantee that the Falcons won't be home week one because there's always a couple of games at the Mercedes-Benz Dome there. I mean, there's probably going to be a game in Miami, so the Dolphins might not be home. So that's a good point, Joe. That's another thing to consider. But enough about the schedule, Joe. We are here to talk about the mock draft challenge that we have going on for our viewers, friends, families, cats, dogs, whoever can fill out a mock draft can enter. So a little bit of a background. Myself and a coworker put this together a couple of years ago. Once the first round, it was the Lamar Jackson draft actually, because there were so many offensive playmakers and quarterbacks and all that kind of stuff that are going to be in the draft. So the draft was exciting. It wasn't just a bunch of offensive linemen and linebackers, like which was pretty much the year after. So we didn't do it here, but we brought it back last year, and it was huge. It's a $5 buy-in, guys. It's just a $5 buy-in. I believe last year's winner won about 80, 90, $100. We had about 20, 25 people in this thing. So it's really cool. It's a mock draft challenge. Just the first round. Just the first round. We don't need you predicting which quarterback the Eagles are going to take in the sixth round. I mean, it is a quarterback factory, so there's
Hey, we're,
plenty of
we're
options.
taking a QB in every round.
Yeah,
QB factory.
QB factory. So that's what it's going to happen. If you are interested in entering, please comment down below that you're interested in entering, or if you know one of us personally or professionally, definitely reach out to our DMs. Our Twitters are in the description as well, so definitely go follow us, go check us out, go slide into our DM saying, "Hey, I'm interested," and then we can work together on getting you all the information to go. And Joe, are you ready for me to explain how this works and how you win the pot?
Go for it, Timmy B. You explain it to the gentle listeners, and gentle listeners, you pay attention so you can win this money.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Number one, like this video. So you get there's different points. So obviously you get 6 points if you get the team, player, and pick 100% correct. So predicting Trevor Lawrence, quarterback to the Jaguars at number one, will get you 6 points. If that happens, we don't know. Jaguars could be taking Kyle Trask. We don't know.
Ooh,
You can
yikes.
get you can get 4 points if you get the correct team and player. So, for example, predicting the Jaguars draft Trevor Lawrence at one. Instead, they decide to trade back to number two and take Trevor Lawrence as two. As long as you get the correct team and player, it's 4 points if it's not their original pick. You also get 4 points if you get the correct player and pick. So if you say Kyle Trask is going to be pick number seven, but instead of whoever has pick number seven, it's a different team, that'll still get you 4 points. You still said Kyle Trask going to be pick number seven. Easy enough. You get 3 points if you get the correct team and position, which is a really interesting thing because there's so many wide receivers, there's so many quarterbacks. So as long as you're saying, hey, the Eagles are going to be drafting a wide receiver, if you say that they're going to get Devontae Smith, but instead they draft Jamar Chase, that'll still get you 3 points. That's still the
Oh,
Eagles drafting
that
a
would be
wide
amazing.
receiver. Yeah, no, well, yeah. If they're there at 12, then this is going to be a crazy draft, which it could be. If you get you also get 3 points. Not if you also get 3 points if you get the correct trade. So if you predict that the Dolphins are going to trade again out of 6 to, let's say, the Panthers at 8, if you make that prediction, then you get 3 points. Simple enough, just a correct trade between the two teams, two parties involved. 2 points if you get the correct pick and position. So again, quarterbacks. Let's say you have the 49ers. No, that's a bad example. Let's say you have the Panthers trading up to 5. This is also not a good example. But the Panthers trading up to 5 to take Mac Jones. Instead, the Panthers trade up to 5 and get Kyle Trask. That's still a quarterback at number 5 and all that kind of stuff. It's all in an email too that I'll be sending you. And then you get 1 point if you predict a trade that happens with two separate parties if you don't get the exact trade. So, for example, if you're saying, hey, the Eagles are going to trade back again in the first round with the Steelers, and instead they trade back in the first round with the Ravens, then that only gets you 1 point. You predicted that the Eagles were trading back again, but you didn't get that other piece. And you don't need to do all the fancy, they're giving a third round, second round next year, this, that, whatever. All you need to do is just say, hey, Team A is trading with Team B. If you get Team A and Team B correct, 3 points. If you get Team A correct and not Team B, my hand is off screen, that's only 1 point. Simple enough, right? And everything will be in an email. So please reach out to us about the points. Joe, do you have any questions about how the points work?
Tim, I, have multiple questions I could ask, just to clarify stuff. But, for myself and for all the gentle listeners who some of this information might have gone over your head, I wouldn't sweat it too much. Fill out the mock. Do your best to predict who's going to go where, and any trades that might happen. And Tim's got the scoring handled, so we'll see what happens at the end result. But I wouldn't stress about it too much. I know that Tim's got a system in place, and I've got a mock draft in place, and I'm gonna be. If you see my mock draft, just know you're getting a spoiler to what the draft is going to be. So prepare yourself, because I'm gonna win all that money, which is going to be unfortunate that we host this competition, then I take everyone's money. It's going to seem like a scheme, but it's not. I'm just good.
Yes, no, there's going to be a lot of questions. Don't worry. And I know hearing that, even me talking, I was kind of like, wait, hold on. What? You did this? You did what? Don't worry. Everything will be laid out in the email. I'll put down in the comments as well in case you're better at reading stuff. But everything is laid out very well. It's very simple. And last year's winner won because he had 8 of the first 10 100% correct. Everybody else was predicting trades, and he was like, yeah, no, there's not going to be any trades. And there really weren't. So he was only 8 for 10. And then after that, everybody was pretty inaccurate. So, I mean, especially in the second half, you don't know who's going to be available at 27 for the Ravens. You don't know if the Ravens are going to trade out or trade up.
We know they're going to trade down.
Oh, well, yeah, we never trade up. We only trade down. But yeah. Oh, except the one time we drafted Lamar Jackson. But that's a rare trade case with the Eagles. So yeah, that's basically what the mock draft challenge is. So if you are interested, definitely reach out to us, put it in the comments, reach out to us on Twitter. If you know us, if you have our numbers, go ahead and text us as well. I will send everything. It's done through Excel, so I'll send you the sheet. There's also a trade breakdown sheet. And I said last year we had about around 20 people involved in this. I got all the grading done the next day, and money was sent out later that afternoon on Friday or the next Saturday. So everybody will get the points graded and all that kind of stuff. And we're excited, Joe. And I know you said you have your mock draft ready. I'm sure there's going to be a Joe Dennis 2.0. There's going to be a Joey D 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. But give the people a little teaser. What are you feeling?
All right. Well, who I'm currently projecting right now is J.C. Horn to the Eagles at 12.
Okay.
There's a couple players that I'd be all right with. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to make it. But between him, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Patrick Surtain, the other corner from Alabama, and J.C. Horn, I believe one of those players, or maybe more than one, will be available at number 12 for us to choose from. And I think ultimately that will be it'll be one of those players. At least I really hope so. I will be happy with any of those players, since there's an argument all of them are top players. On the flip side, players that I will be livid and just absolutely lose my mind over. If we draft any quarterback, I will be pissed. I make these jokes, but I will be pissed if we do. And the other one is Kwity Paye, defensive end from Michigan. I could so see this as like a vintage Eagles pick. His pro player comparison is Brandon Graham, who also was a defensive end out of Michigan, slightly undersized, but high motor and more of a power rusher. Eagles have a sneaky need at defensive end with Brandon Graham getting up there in age, Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat both on the last years of their contract. And in 7 out of Howie Roseman's 9 drafts, he's drafted offensive lineman or defensive lineman with his first overall pick. Two that were Carson Wentz and Jalen Reagor. So, the Eagles value the trenches very highly. It is a sneaky need for us. So, I could 100% see the Eagles making this pick and then their press conference being like, we traded down from 6 to 12, got an extra first round pick, and still picked up who we believe is the top pass rusher in this draft. God, I'll be so pissed if that happens. Like, that would just be such an Eagles thing to do, and just not a very impactful player at a position we really need right now when there's nobody at cornerback too, and wide receiver still needs a lot of help. So I think we got to go corner in the first round, receiver in the second, go from there. But that's the draft. You never know how it's going to go. What about you, Timmy B? Any players you got your eye on for the Ravens you'd like or really would not like?
I swear to God, if we draft a wide receiver in the first round, I wide receiver is the last of our issues. Okay, it's not the wide receivers; it's the offensive system. We need a pass rush is still an issue for us, and likewise offensive line. So I'll be fine with somebody in the trenches, a nice pass rusher, whether that's a DN, maybe another linebacker to go with Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison that we got last year, or just some more offensive line depth. I know this guy is flipping a little bit because he tore his ACL, I believe, in the semifinal. But Landon Dickerson from Alabama, the center, he has experience at center and guard, would go well with Bradley Bozeman. They might have had a year together when one was a senior, one was a freshman. I'm not quite sure, but at Alabama's pro day, I believe they were interviewing Devontae Smith, and he was just in the background doing like cartwheels and stuff. So he looks fine.
That was Mac. That was Mac Jones, I think.
It was Mac Jones's
Yeah.
interview. Yeah. But that's somebody who I would like. And when he tore his ACL, I think I even mentioned here, Joe, I was like, we might get him in like the second round now or the third round.
Yeah.
But, so I wouldn't mind if the Ravens do trade back, maybe get another pick or two. Eric DeCosta said in the press conference that he had a couple of days ago, he was like, yo, there's like 20-ish. He's like, we want to have basically 20 picks this year and next year. We have 7 this year. So definitely wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens trade down a few or make a trade to acquire another pick or two. And it's just another thing about Eric DeCosta kind of planning for the future. He was like, yeah, there's like 20 players that we really want to pick this year and next year. That just alludes to the preparation. And then I guess outside of the Ravens, Joe, I said this before as well. Once the Patriots re-sign Cam Newton, I think they're about to make a big splash to get Justin Fields. I think Cam Newton would be an excellent mentor for Justin Fields. And the system works. They got Jonnu Smith. They got another tight end. Was it Hunter Henry that they got?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're kind of emulating a very similar offense that they had, and a very similar offense to another successful offense in the NFL. I said that they were interested in Lamar Jackson when he was coming out, or that was a big rumored team for him. So definitely wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to build something similar to how the Ravens did with the solid running game, a dual threat quarterback, 2 tight end system. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they kind of find their way in that top 5, 6, 7, or even 10 to get Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's definitely a team to keep an eye on there. I mean, it's interesting because there are so many teams outside the top 10 that need a quarterback, but right now it looks like there's going to be a QB going 1, 2, 3, maybe 4.
Maybe 5, maybe 6. Like this could be
maybe
very
5.
historic.
Yeah. I think there's definitely going to be 5 QBs in the first round, and I would guess in the top 15. If not the top 10, but so that means that one of those teams like the Patriots, Bears, or the Washington football team, they might feel like they have no choice but to trade up and go get that 5th guy.
Yeah.
And they all have to go up a fair ways. So it would cost a lot to get who people believe ends up being the 5th quarterback, 5th best QB in this draft. So it'd be kind of interesting to see which one of those teams does pull the trigger, if any, and how much they give up for them, and then who is it that they're getting? I mean, is this Mac Jones that the Patriots are moving up from 15 to 8 to go get, or the football team moving up from 19 to 10 to get someone like that? It's very interesting to see how it's all going to play out. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Which team is going to make that big trade up splash that kind of has a ripple effect throughout the rest of the draft and the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely excited to see what happens. It's going to be historic. It's going to be crazy. We're going to see who really wants a quarterback and who's willing to give up some assets. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And Joe, we're going to be reacting to the draft live, our second announcement. We are going to figure it out. We haven't decided yet if we are going to try to do a live stream on the channel. Comment below if you want to see a live stream or if we're just going to hop on this little Zoom call the way we record our videos normally, just watching the draft, hanging out and all that kind of stuff, doing our live reactions. And then we might even bring on some of our previous guests if they want to talk about their team for a couple of minutes as their pick comes in and all that stuff to see everybody's reaction. I know one of our recurring guests, Sawyer, had a very, very excited reaction when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones a couple of years ago. You could just say he was screaming in excitement. You know, he was just so excited that they that they picked Daniel Jones. So, yeah, just kidding. I actually had a guy. We were at a bar. He just left. He was as soon as they picked Daniel Jones, he just left. He was not happy about that pick. But yeah, so we will be live reacting. We haven't figured out if we're just going to be recording like a normal episode, reacting to it live. We're going to do a live stream on the channel. And Joe, any thoughts about the live reactions?
I'm excited. I mean, I think we can definitely get some good reactions on here, especially when there's some head scratching picks, and hopefully it's the Giants who do that, and we
and the
get
Cowboys.
Well, Cowboys would be phenomenal, but I don't really have that many Cowboys friends, so I wouldn't be able to get their reaction. But if the Giants botch it and we get Sawyer and our man James Taylor on here get their reaction, I know that would be spicy. So that's something that I'm definitely keeping an eye on. Hopefully the Giants just pass on both wide receiver and cornerback and take an offensive lineman or Kwity Paye. Just somebody take Kwity Paye before he makes 12 of the Eagles and they ruin my life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the final announcement that we have, and we alluded to this, I believe, in the episode before. After the Super Bowl, I was like, yeah, we got 8 weeks until the draft. We got 8 divisions, and we did 3, or we did 2 or 3. We didn't do too many of them. So we're going to be redoing that now after the draft. And good news is we have a whole summer. So we basically will have 12 to 13 weeks to do 8 divisions. So we're going to be revisiting those couple of divisions that we already talked about now that they have revamped. And now it's confirmed that the Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence, and Lord knows what the Texans are going to do in the draft as well. So we'll be revisiting them. We'll bring on those guests again to talk, Trent, Fab, and everybody to talk about their respective divisions. That's our other offseason announcement, and we do have a little bit more time. We're not trying to squeeze it into the eight weeks leading up to it. So definitely a lot of content is going to still be coming. And Joe, any thoughts about the future of the Flea Flicker this offseason?
I'm excited, Tim. I mean, it's a new era in the NFL, 17-game season. Single-digit jerseys just got passed today for skill players in the NFL. So, it's going to be a very different looking season next year. And I'm excited for the Flea Flicker to be there right along with. So, we just gotta keep going. Keep hitting that like and subscribe so we can make it and get on ESPN and just talk shop with some of those other guys that kind of know their football stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it best, Joe. The more likes, comments, and subscribers we get from our videos, the more content that we can do, because that shows that we like them. Joe is now currently there. Now he's back. Never mind. Ignore that. But yeah, the more likes, comments, and subscribers these videos get, that means that you want to see more of the Flea Flicker, talking some more football. Make sure you join this mock draft challenge. If you have issues trying to get in touch with us, please comment on this video saying, hey, like, I tried DMing you, I tried commenting, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. You will have a whole week to get this in. So definitely let us know. And I mean, Joe, I'm all out of words. Do you have any final words?
Man, that's all I got, Timmy B. We're very close. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be terrible. So, I can't wait to show Brooks' live reaction. The Eagles drafting a quarterback, because she did not say a word for about 30 seconds when the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts last year. Just complete shock. Okay, we were both completely shocked. So
yeah,
it was rattling, and she was pissed about the Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, because Jefferson's been her guy since day one. So I'm excited to
season 2, right?
It was okay. He had an okay season.
Okay.
I'm excited to get all the live reactions of all of our friends, all of the people who watch our videos and are here for the ride with us.
Yeah, and I can't wait until to stay up until 1 a.m. and then find out the Ravens are trading out of the first
I
round.
know, I know.
So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, guys, that'll do it for this episode of the Flea Flicker. A little bit of a quick one. Make sure you enter this mock draft challenge. It's going to be a fun, a lot of money. It's going to be great. I'm going to win. Joe's going to get second place and win absolutely nothing. So see if you can beat us. If you can beat the Flea Flicker, then let's do it. But it's really Timmy B, and this is Joey D. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon.
Peace.